At this time, I'm going to turn it over to our boiler product manager, Mr. Dan Rettig, to conduct this webinar. Dan, take off.
Thank you, Mike. As Mike was saying, today we'll touch actually what Connexus is. We'll talk about some of the benefits that Connexus has to offer, and at the same time, hopefully, as we go over the Connexus platform, you'll think of some more benefits specific to your needs. We'll also demonstrate some of the navigation of the app, and then just talk a little bit more about the history and the future of Connexus. So we'll get started with what Connexus is. Connexus, as Mike said, is a remote connectivity, so we can accomplish that a couple different ways. We can do it wirelessly. If you have a good wireless signal in your mechanical room or the closet or where the unit's located, we can hook up wirelessly. Or if we're in a basement or mechanical room that does not have a good wireless signal, and we don't have an option to add a new router, we can do just a basic Ethernet connection, which would plug right into the router that way and give us remote connectivity through the app. Speaking of the app is at no charge, and that's downloaded at the Apple App Store, or that can be downloaded from the Google Play Store. So Connexus is an option. It will require an optional board. You'll see the image of the board there, which is a very easily installed board. As I said previously, the app has no charge, and that app actually has a demo feature, which we'll show to you, which is a good sales tool or just a good demonstration to your customers to let you show them the app if you do not have a live Connexus unit hooked up. So talking about installation, we have on our YouTube channel, we have a video that is a little under 3 minutes, and it shows basic installation of the Connexus board along with some navigation of the Connexus platform. So again, I would recommend, if you haven't seen that video, go look at that video. And again, that's another sales tool for you there to take to the end user and show them the value and let them make the decision if that's something they want to go forward with. And then the manual is at Lochinvar.com. So currently that manual is on the FTXL webpage and will be on the Night webpage very shortly. So as we were saying, Connexus allows us to connect to a boiler remotely that we weren't capable to do before. So now we can go in and look at different parameters, change parameters, and not have to be at the building. So we can be at one job site and then maybe get notified from a customer that they're having an issue with their boiler, and we can go into that boiler and we can look at that and make those parameter changes if needed. It could be as basic as adjusting the outdoor reset curve or adjusting the DHW temperature. But that can all be done from a different location now. You don't have to send a technician out half an hour, 45 minutes to the job site, and then they're on the job site a half an hour making parameter changes, and then you've got to bill the customer for that time. Now you can do that within 5 minutes, as long as it takes for you to pull out your smart device and make those changes. So Connexus was originally released on the FTXL in July of 2014. We actually showed that at the ASHRAE show in January of 2014, and we've had good success with Connexus on FTXL. A lot of people have been using the option and have had a lot of good feedback on it, so we've definitely been looking at bringing it across other product lines in the future. So some of the benefits of Connexus, the first one here we see on the screen is the boiler management, and kind of talked about being able to make those parameter changes. So we can go in and make any change that we can do on the user interface of the unit if we're in front of it. But now, again, we can do that remotely, don't have to be on site. You can do that from your home if it's on the weekend, if a customer calls in. It just allows you to offer better customer service to the end user for services that you weren't able to do before. The service notes is a good function of the boiler management of the Connexus platform, because we can go in and we can make service notes. We can kind of keep track of the history of the repairs that were done. I like this one from when I was out in the field. You didn't always know what was done previously on the unit on the weekend. If I would get called out and be on a weekend call, and the customer said, well, somebody from your company was out here, 2 weeks before, I didn't have access to those records, what was done to that unit. Well, now with the service notes, if the technician that was on the job site previously, he can make notes that the flame sensor was replaced, or the igniter was replaced, and now I know that that work was done, and I can look at something else if he's having an ignition issue. Maybe I need to concentrate on the gas pressure since I knew there's a new flame sensor and there's a new igniter. Again, it just again allows you to offer better customer service, and you're not redoing work that was already previously done. The historical data, we have runtime history, and that gives us the hours that the unit's operated at and the modulation. So now we can really show to the end user the history and how much that turn down of these high efficiency equipments matters to them, because now they're running at that low modulation, as before with their boiler, it was either two-stage or it was on-off, running at 100% all the time. So we know the lower modulation, the more gas we're saving. So that's a good data we can show them. And also we can look at runtime history. We can look at short cycling of the unit. So kind of demonstrate that in the app here in the next couple minutes. And then the last one there is alerts. You'll see email or text. So this is hopefully something that we never have to use. But if the unit does have an issue, now we will get email or text depending on what you prefer, and it will tell you that boiler of the west wing at Mrs. Jones' house is down. That'll allow you to, at that point, you can open up the app, go into the boiler, and actually see what the boiler is doing right before it had locked out. So that's a good tool, because typically you don't get the call until the boiler's been shut down for about 8 hours, 9 hours, and the building started to drop temperature. Now at this point, as soon as that unit locks out, that email or text goes out, and now you can call Mrs. Jones before she calls you, and you can let her know her boiler's out. So again, there's just the customer service aspect of that is priceless. You can't really put a dollar figure on that, because your customer's not going to be used to that. Used to you calling them when there's an issue, sending somebody out there before they even realize the boiler's down. That's big. There's no other feature out there that allows you to offer the service to your customer. So again, that's hopefully something you don't have to use, but again, when you can call Mrs. Jones when her unit locks out, she's going to really appreciate that. So we're going to go into a little bit of the navigation of the app here in just a second. So what you'll see here, this is the your account screen. So this is after I've opened up the account and I've signed in. You'll see all the boilers that's assigned to my account. So depending on how big of a contractor you are, you could have anywhere from 20 to 100 units on here, but the number of units you can have are limitless. So if you're a large contractor and you have 500 units associated with your Connexus account, those will all be populated there, and you'll be able to go down and you'll be able to search those by site, or we can go down and search those by serial number, or we can search them by city. So that's going to be really important here when we talk about the next step of the registration of the product, how we'll be able to find those. So that's what we'll go into now, is the register new device. So when I register a new device, there's going to be a barcode on the Connexus board itself. We can go up and hit scan, and at that point that's going to scan that barcode and populate that number there. The next line there is the boiler serial number. Again, underneath the boiler serial number there's going to be a barcode. You can scan that, and that'll bring the camera up instantly, and it'll populate that serial number. So what that's doing is that's just joining the Connexus board and that boiler together, so it helps with your management and our management of what's connected to that boiler. The site name is going to be very important, because as you saw on that home screen of the account, that is really what's going to, if it's a university, you're going to put that university. If it's a residence, you'll put that residence. But this is where it becomes important that, for your management of all your boilers, that you really put that site name in there, your boiler location. So, if it's a university, that building or location may be the university. It may be the library. But if it's a home, it may be, the west wing, first floor, second floor. Boiler name would be as simple as, boiler A, B, C, 1, 2, 3. Ever how you label your boilers currently in all your jobs, you just want to keep to that. and then obviously your address, your city, and your zip. That's all going to help when you go to search that, so you know where those jobs are. So after I've entered in all that information, I would just go down here and hit register, and at that point, that boiler is going to be attached to your account. So you do have to have an account set up to be able to register a boiler. So what we're going to go into here is a boiler. It'll take a minute. This depends on your internet connection, how fast you will connect through the app to the device. So right here, you'll see this is the home page as soon as I open up this unit, and you'll see this unit's in standby. At the very top, you'll see my outdoor air temperature, 67 degrees. You'll see the DHW temperature, and that's the temperature of my indirect tank. The system supply temperature, and then you have your basic inlet-outlet temperatures below that, and off to the right is the modulation. So this is the screen that you're going to see as you open up each boiler. It just gives you a good information right off the bat just to see what's going on with the unit. As we dig a little deeper into the Connexus, you'll see a lot more settings and different screens. We're not going to go through all the screens because there is quite a bit, but we'll highlight some of them, and then you can always download the demo, which I'll show you here at the end, to be able to navigate this to see what's all available. So this is the boiler screen. So on this screen, you're going to again see all at the top, you're going to see the status of all the temperatures. And then below, you'll see the status of all the switch. So this is a good troubleshooting screen. You can get in here as the units operate, and you can see, you know, is my flow switch made, my louver proving switch, and you can see the statuses of your pump. So there's a lot of information here at one screen. It's a good diagnosis tool. We'll go to the modulation screen, and this is the very similar to the screen that we saw at the front with the modulation, but you're also going to have your delta T and your loop temperature. So if you're using the multi-temperature loop control, that's an option with the night boilers and FTXL, you'll see those temperatures here for all the different loops that are associated with that system. We're going to go to the history screen. We're going to go over to runtime history. As we move over to runtime history, this is where it's talking about boiler management. When we go into that, you're going to be able to go in, see your cycles per hour. You'll be able to see your ignition attempts. We let it operate for about a month, and then we logged into Connexus, and we saw that that unit was cycling roughly about 9 times an hour, which, as we all know, that's way too high for cycles per hour for a unit. So we went in, made a few parameters changes, which I'll show you here in a couple screens. Then we uploaded those parameters. Well, we went back in just a couple weeks, and we had got our cycles down to less than 3 cycles an hour. So as you all know, typically that's not something that will be done on a normal job site, because you'll install the unit, you'll set it up, and you won't return to that job until there's either an issue or until you do the maintenance the following year. So now that's just, again, it's better customer service you can offer the customer. You can make sure the unit's operating the way they expect it. If they purchase a high efficiency unit, you know, they expect it to be saving them money. If we're cycling 9 times an hour, the odds are that probably not saving the money we could. So now we can log into this unit, adjust those parameters, and we can really give them the benefits that they're expecting from that high efficiency piece of equipment. The run hours are very beneficial. It's also just to be able to see how that unit's operating from day to day. So the next screen here is the service notes, and this is where I was talking about we can actually go in, we can enter the data that we did. So you can see here that the igniter was replaced, and this is where I talked about it, the opening, you know, on the benefits, the boiler management. We can go in and we can write down what was done. You know, if the drain was plugged, we could write that, you know, cleared out the drain. It could be as simple as also putting that the boiler rooms located behind the back left of the building behind the tree. I know everybody's been there when they haven't been to a job site before, and they've had difficulties locating the location of the unit. And at the end of the day, you know, whether that's 15 minutes or half an hour, that's time that your employer had to pay you, and you're really not generating any money for the company. And at the end of the day, we all want to make sure that we're profitable, and it's just the way that helps us keep profitable, because it allows us to keep track of what's going on with the unit, what's been done, that we're not repeating previous work, and also that all that work's done in a timely manner. So this is good. We can write down what was done, and just not only I can see this, but anybody that has access to this account can see what was done. So I'll show you, the last screen I show you will be the service notification screen, which will show you, how that functions, how I can assign multiple people to my account. So the screen now we have is we went to setup, and we're under set points right now is the first screen that comes up, and this is where we went in and we made adjustments to the offset into the differential of a field test unit, and then we hit send update. So after we made those changes right there, we would go up and we hit send update, and at that point that downloads the new parameters into that function and off those parameters. And again, those are just little tweaks that, as you know, typically are not done, after you leave the job. You're going to set your set point, you're going to set all this up, outdoor reset curve, and then you're going to walk away until the customer calls you, you come back for maintenance. As you see here, I'll move the set point. You will also see how my offset and differential moves with that set point. And that's good for somebody that's kind of just learning the logic and the parameters that we offer. Kind of lets them see what that offset represents, lets them see what that differential represents. So it's kind of talking about going in, looking at outdoor reset. We'll see here the outdoor reset curve. We're going to adjust that curve up. We're going to adjust our max temperature set point up. We're going to adjust our minimum set point up. And then we're going to extend out our curve a little bit here. With that, underneath at the very bottom, you'll see that currently it's 67 degrees, and you'll see off. So you'll see there's no need for heat with this reset curve. And that's just a good representation of what that reset curve is set up as and how it functions. At the very top, you'll see that we've got space heat 1, space heat 2, and space heat 3. That's just for each individual outdoor reset curve that the night boiler offers. So we will go down here to the BMS screen. Actually, we'll go down to ramp delay. We'll go down to ramp delay, and that ramp delay is a good representation of how ramp delay works. You'll see here we have our 6 steps. We have the first step as 2 minutes, and we're going to modulate up to 30%, no more. We will go to step 2, and we can move step 2, and you will see that move here. So again, that gives a good representation of what ramp delay is. So that tells you that you will not modulate over 25% longer than 16.5 minutes. So everybody's familiar with ramp delay. Just want to show you that representation here of ramp delay in the chart. The very last thing here, service notification. I want to talk about that for a while. This is really where you assign who can view your account and what privileges they have. So you'll see here the site manager is the first line that we come to, and that site manager is the person that registers the boiler, whether that's the facilities manager, the contractor, who that is, that's going to be the person that registers the boiler. You'll see that this site manager, his notification types, he wants to get notified every time this boiler locks out, goes into blocking, or the parameters are changed. So he doesn't have a cell phone number down here, so he will only get email notification when these parameters are done. So the parameter change, that's one that as we go forward with this Connexus platform, we're hearing a lot of people like that, because if a parameter change is made in the at the job site, say somebody walks up to the control, they see it, they're not real familiar with it, but they say it looks neat, let's kind of make some changes, just starts playing with it, they could really throw the system out of whack if they just adjust one of the set points. The boiler may not fire when needed. So now if that parameter is changed, you as a service contractor would get notification that parameter was changed, and you could call the end user and ask them, did you mean for this parameter to be changed? If they say no, well then you could go back and set it back to the previous setting, and we know there will be no nuisance, no heat calls. So underneath the account manager here, there's going to be three people that have been assigned to this account. You will see they have the option they can do when they're entered by the site manager. The site manager can give them view and edit privileges, or the site manager can give them view only privileges. So the view only allows this user to go in, see the account, and see what's going on with the system, but no changes can be made. With the view and edit, they can go in, change parameters, do whatever they want to. So really depending on who that person is, what privilege you want to give, the site manager determines those privileges. And those can be up to, again, 3 people underneath that site manager. So for some reason, the site manager no longer wants one of his service personnel to be able to view the account, he would just go to that account and hit the unlink button. At that point, that person would be wiped clear of this account, and then he could assign another person to the account. So what we're going to do is here we're going to go back into the PowerPoint, and this screen here, the About screen, all it is it shows you basic information. This may be information for troubleshooting. It just kind of shows you what boilers it's attached to, the account, and the device of the Connexus board. So we're going to go to a little bit about where we're going in the future with Connexus. So we just last 2 weeks ago we introduced Connexus for the night boiler. We're now accepting orders on that, and we will start shipments in the middle of this month. And you'll see down here at the bottom, this is the webinar you're attending. We have another one today at 3 o'clock. So if you have anybody that would like to get some more information on Connexus, please have them join the 3 o'clock webinar. To talk about a little bit what we can do with the Connexus. So you see here it's going to be compatible with night boilers with the smart system control with the navigation dial. That's going to be true for the WH models. The KB is going to be anything manufactured H10 and after. So it's going to be August of 2010. If your boiler was manufactured after that date, you will be able to use the Connexus board on that and get all the features that we have been talking about. If your unit was built before May the 4th, you're going to require the Connexus kit and a retrofit bracket, and that allows the Connexus board to be mounted in a proper location. Anything manufactured after May the 4th, that bracket will be on the boiler, and at that point all you will need is the Connexus bolt kit to have the Connexus feature. So in closing, kind of talked about what the Connexus is available on now. It's available on night. It's available on FTXL. But I want you to think about possibilities in water heating applications, possibility in residential applications, light commercial. We see a lot of possibilities with Connexus and see a lot of benefits for all of our customers. So just as you go forward and you navigate the Connexus demo and talk to your customers about it, just let's look at it as through the whole Lochinvar product offering in the future. I'm going to turn it over to Mike with any questions right now.